Howdy guys, I'm here at Rebecca Creek Distillery in San Antonio with Steve Ison, founder, creator,
First
employee, only employee at one point I'm guessing. And it was my first time here. I ran into Steve a few weeks back again at the Houston Whiskey Social, and we just realized that I hadn't been here and I hadn't had a chance to have this conversation and kind of learn the history of what Rebecca Creek and things like that. And with the launch that y'all are about to do of the Bourbon Bond, I figured it was a good time to come and talk about that. So how did you start all this?
Well, first of all, thanks for coming down, taking time on your busy schedule to meet with us. And it was great to see you over some whiskey at the Whiskey Social. So
Rough job visiting distilleries.
but basically, the story kind of goes, back 10 years ago. It's like there wasn't really any whiskey around being made at all. And so I've always wanted to get into the liquor business, but didn't really know how. I had a whole different business. But I had some friends in the distribution business at Republic National that I went to college with. And it's like, hey, I would love to get into the business. Do you think I should be a distributor? What do you think? And they're like, you need to make a distillery here in the South. There's nothing down here at the time. And you need to make whiskey and you need to make vodka because we sell more whiskey than anywhere in the world in Texas, and there's none made here at the time. And vodka, there's only the little company up in Austin.
A little company we might have heard of.
Yeah, so if you could come up with a platform to do that, you have a great chance. I go, well, great. I know nothing about making whiskey, making vodka. I'm a sales guy, but I said I'll go figure it out and I'll learn and come back and hire the right people to help me do it. So that's kind of what I did. I started going around, doing a lot of research, putting a business plan together, going to classes. They're distilling classes. I would recommend it. It's fascinating. 10 days of your life to go and learn.
Where'd you go? Which you?
No, it wasn't. It was one of the manufacturers to put.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
It was out in California.
All right.
And so German company, and so I got the basics. Just enough to be dangerous. And then there's a guy I met named Eric Watson who was referred by the ADI. There's only like 50 members back then. The ADI said, "Hey, Eric Watson, he helps build distilleries. And you need to talk to him. He's really good at whiskey." I'm like, great. So I tracked him down and interviewed him and talked him into coming down. He happened to be in between projects. He was on a big rum project on the Cayman Islands. He came down here, helped me write a business plan, helped me pick out all the equipment, helped me write a schematics plan, put everything together. It's like a refinery plant, and then teach us how to distill, And so he came down here. He put him up in an apartment, literally just a mile from here. He was here 13-hour days for almost a year.
Wow.
Put it all together, and then got to get up and running, And so being a whiskey distillery, as a lot of fellow distilleries know, it's a terrible business model. Terrible.
So they keep telling me.
You spend everything up front. You put everything up front. You pay taxes on it before it's even sold. You sit here and cry, watching the barrel, and so. Anyways,
and praying that it comes out.
You don't know what it's going to taste like after a couple of years. So, that being said, we said we need to make vodka. While we make whiskey, we need to make vodka. We can make it fairly quickly and get out the door and pay us the bills because we were out of money. So that's kind of what we did. We came out with Enchanted Rock vodka. Came out of the gates 2010, 11, but the project was about the whiskey,
Right.
So we started making single malt back then.
See, and yeah, y'all told me that, and I'm like, wait, y'all had a single malt,
Yep.
and it was a grain glass product.
Yep.
Like
Off
just
scratch.
totally did not
Yep.
like. It's just
So,
insane.
yeah,
Which,
so-
and they're gonna hand us a.
Yeah, so this is kind of what it came into, but it was 4.5 years, aged in Texas. I mean, everything, grain to bottle on this project. And so with that being said, we sold about 600 bottles and we sold every one, but it had a great chocolate finish, and you can try it in a second. But
Yeah, but that it's just talk about fascinating history. Like one of the reasons I'm glad we're doing this is because my first introduction to Rebecca Creek was through the spirited whiskey, right?
Yeah.
Which is your flagship product.
Yep.
And then to learn about this literally today, actually I think you mentioned at the social, but whiskey. So literally learning about it today again. It's just a fascinating thing to learn.
So we started making single malt, put it in used bourbon barrels, and kind of putting it back. We made a couple of big rounds and put it back, and then started making, bourbon for our blend. But it's 3 years out, so we did a lot of distilleries that we sourced, bought a bunch of it, got a good deal on it, bought a bunch of it back in the day, like 2,000 barrels, and was just started to blend that with our new make.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically, with that being said, we just started, we kind of got really busy with the blending.
Mm-hmm.
So we did make a lot of whiskey from scratch as we were doing on that part, and then we kind of reverted back to it because we have some of the best equipment in the world in there, and so but the business got very big very fast, and trying to maneuver a lot of things with the vodka, then Rebecca Creek out, and then the single malt, that was being aged at the time. So that's kind of how the evolution of it kind of
Yeah, and so you still have the Rebecca Creek flagship, which is the spirited whiskey, but then y'all have like a line of things. Y'all have a 10-year-old whiskey that you source and bring in, which is great. So what else do y'all have from the Rebecca Creek line besides you have your flagship, the 10-year-old, and then what else?
Well, so the Rebecca Creek is no longer a spirited whiskey. That's
Okay.
the thing. We started putting younger whiskey in there.
Got it.
What, Andy, about 2 years ago?
Yep, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
No longer
Okay.
spirit, we're blended whiskey now.
Okay,
So we had a refile with the TTB,
Got it.
and the reason why we're doing the neutral grain spirit too, it just really just smoothed it out and made it really smooth, and for the masses and stuff. But we went to more younger whiskey in there, and the flavor actually improved.
So Rebecca Creek is now just a blend of whiskey.
Correct.
Cool.
Yep. And so, but that being said, we had all that sourced whiskey that we got. Like today, it started getting older and older. We had 10-year, we had 12-year, we had 15-year that we're about to release. So I bought these barrels, and they're different ages. And as they got older and older, they got too expensive to blend.
Right.
And so we said, we're going to keep those for a later time. And that's kind of what we done,
Well, that's cool.
And so now we're, releasing different editions out there just to kind of bring more people to the brand, and having a lot of fun with it,
Yeah.
And so with we probably did more innovation in the last 2 years than we have in 8 years.
Wow.
And so with our whiskeys and stuff, so always trying to come up with new innovative things, different in the marketplace, like a Spanish oak,
Which was
coming
good
out,
too.
and the double barrel that we've researched before. It's just different additions to bring some splash and some activity to us,
So that's kind of where it was going. So you started off with the spirited whiskey, and now we've transitioned into it's with all whiskey. Some
Right.
making, some sourced,
Yep.
and then now some of those older barrels that you've had, you're going to be able to release in different age statements,
Yep.
like the 10. You
Yep.
said a 15's coming up.
Yep.
What else is on the horizon?
Yeah, great question. Always trying to come up with new innovations with the team. But we want to kind of sprinkle it out there.
Okay.
We don't want to do it all at once. So we've got
Excellent.
some more stuff up our sleeves that we're going to keep quiet for right this second.
Okay.
But in 6 months to a year, we'll start throwing a little bit out there.
Now, when you did, and I got to try the Spanish oak as well. So, but you said that one's about to come out as well.
Yeah,
So what is that? What is that one?
So that one came out as well. The Spanish oak double barrel bourbon.
So it is y'all's bourbon finished in Spanish oak.
Correct. No, not our bourbon.
Okay.
That's sourced.
Okay, but
That's
finished in a Spanish oak
Yes.
barrel.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
And I do remember it being pretty good. And then the other thing, which Daniel and I are going to talk about, is the now released bottled and bond, grain to glass, made right here at Rebecca Creek in San Antonio, bourbon. And it's pretty damn tasty, folks. So, I mean, if this is any indication of what y'all are working on and the direction y'all are going, it's going to be an exciting time. And I think the people that are fans of Rebecca Creek, you're going to become even more fans. And the ones that, if you haven't tried it or kind of shied away because, look, you're like, spirited whiskey's not my thing. Well, look, that's changed.
Yeah.
Also, this bottled and bond is grain to glass. It's made right here in Texas. It's worth trying. It's pretty special, guys. So Anything else you want to say? Talk about?
Yeah, just innovations, just with our other products, the Channel Rock vodka.
Yeah.
We've had a regular vodka out there for several years, and then we came out with the peach about 3 years after our first release.
Isn't there an orange one out too?
It's not an orange.
Oh, just the peach. I'm thinking the peach out.
But we came out with some different flavors, natural flavors that we blended and came together, and we just released those this year.
Okay.
And so we got blueberry, we've got cucumber, we've got watermelon.
Nice.
Help me, Andy.
Pink lemonade.
Pink lemonade.
Pink lemonade vodka. I can't
prickly
imagine
pear.
how
Prickly
good
pear
that goes
is coming
down in the
out.
summer.
So we have like different, I guess, brands for different demographics.
Right.
We've got, Rebecca Creek, that traditional bourbon drinkers kind of go towards that. Texas Ranger is more of a Canadian style. It's a blend, but it's just sweeter.
I was gonna say it's sweeter. It's a great starter.
Got some Rebecca in there.
If you're like, whiskey's not really my thing, and you feel it's too harsh, Texas Ranger has got a lot of vanillas, a lot of sweetness to it. It's a great starter place for you.
For women too, that want to kind of ease into it, Texas Rangers are great. And then we have some Texas Rangers flavors too. We have coconut pecan, peanut butter cup, and peach. And so those are all been out, done very well on premise.
Okay.
Just with those flavor contrasts and stuff. So as you can see the shelf, it's a ton that we output, a ton. And so,
Well, and the fact that because they are making all of it, and they're manufacturing it here, means their tasting room, they can give you vodka cocktails along with your whiskey cocktails. So from a tasting room perspective, you can come, you can hang out. Whether you like vodka or whiskey, there's something a little bit for everybody.
Yep. And then, but yeah, just all about the innovation and keeping everything fresh and just getting people's attention. So that's kind of what we've been doing out there.
And the Texas Ranger
So-
1823 blended whiskey.
Yeah, so Texas Ranger, we have a partnership with the Texas Ranger Association, and they're coming out with their 200-year anniversary, their bicentennial.
Wow.
So we partner with them to bring awareness to it by making some additions with the original Rangers on each bottle.
Okay.
And so those have just been in the marketplace. So you'll have the different Rangers. The first round is 3 different Rangers. The next round will be another 3 different Rangers, correct? And it tells the story of when that first started. And it just brings light on that old tradition, Texas Rangers. And so we run some commercials on Yellowstone with the partnership with the Texas Rangers. So it's a lot of cool history that goes into it. It's still the Texas Ranger juice, but it's just a good way to commemorate.
Nice way to promote what they're doing. This one actually has Samuel Hamilton Walker on it. So, great piece of Texas history right there.
Yep.
And what better way to promote it than whiskey?
Yeah. So the governor's behind it, and there's events throughout the year. Big events. Advertising it and stuff, and bringing light to it. So we're having fun with it.
And where can they learn? Is that going to be on your website where they can learn about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so check out Rebecca Creek's website. Anymore, you can just Google it. I mean, let's be clear, you'll find it. But you'll find information on the Texas Ranger bicentennial stuff.
Yep.
So, how cool is that, right? Yeah, I'm excited. I like this.
So a little distillery, just trying to make our way, but have a lot of fans and different demographics, which is nice. And
Yeah.
so we're probably grown to one of the largest craft distilleries in the country.
I was going to say, how many states are y'all in now?
We're 23 states, and then
Wow.
how many countries, Andy?
We're about three countries.
3 different countries.
Yeah.
So military is bringing us around the world with all their bases.
Okay.
So that being said, that we're just trying to get a lot more exposure, but as far as our output, one of the largest craft distilleries in the country.
I was going to say,
So
to be in 23 states and 3 countries, you kind of got to be.
yeah. So but we're still small in craft, and as you'll see in our facility, it's got the small feel to it. So
Well, cool. And like I said, I am looking forward to the tour because, like I said, I haven't been here.
Yeah.
But, well, man, I thank you so much for having me
Yeah,
on,
absolutely.
talking with me
Absolutely.
and sharing this. I truly excited to see the changes that are happening. And like when you started telling me about this, I was like, all right, we just.
Yeah.
If I didn't know, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people that.
yeah,
didn't know.
and I think it was a great leadway to kind of what we're doing over here. And I mean, there's some great smaller distilleries making amazing products, and we're right there with them, and so we're small and we're making amazing products, and we like to brag about it a little bit. So I think it was perfect timing. Come down and see what we're all about, and kind of, go from there.
Well, sounds cool. Thanks, man.
Let's do a tour. Let's do it.
Yes, dude. Let's do a tour.